Hey, what's up guys? I wanted to do a video on this ceramic knife I got from Deal Extreme. Now I don't have the SKU number offhand. I apologize for that, but you can just look it up, just type in ceramic knives. And again, this is from dealextreme.com, which is overseas somewhere, I forget, I don't know, somewhere in Asia. It takes forever to get, but all their crap is super cheap. This knife was $5.38, if memory serves me correct. And it came just with this plastic wrapped around the blade, so it wouldn't cut anything. It's basically how it was, just like this in the package. Alright, so pretty low-tech packaging there. So let's take a look at it real quick. There it is, kind of steak knife shape. And here's what the package has to say. Well, I can't read half of it. But what I can read are some of these selling points. Bacteriostatic, clean, vogue, abrasion-proof, sharp. Let's see what the back has to say. Oh, there's a nice Q&A I can't read. Mwah, mwah. All right, cerami knife. I don't know if that's spelt wrong or if that's just how they say it. All right, it says, the English portion anyway, says, it is used to slice up and cut through boneless meat. Boneless meat. Keep that in mind, very important. Vegetables and fruits. Use a wooden or polypropylene cutting board as a cutting support. Do not use on earthenware, I don't know what that is, glass or porcelain surfaces. Avoid any shock or hard surface. Do not use for any other function other than cutting. Do not cut hard, frozen, or boned food. Resharpen if necessary with a ceramic sharpening steel. Ceramic blades rinse clean under running water and store in a protected compartment, block, or original box. Alright, so this is the first ceramic knife I've had on this channel, okay? I've owned two ceramic knives in the past. One was a Boker folder, which I got when the thing first came out. It must have been a decade ago now. This is way before anyone even heard of ceramic blades. It was like the coolest, new age, futuristic deal, and I spent, I think, $150 on it, and I was like 14 at the time, and that's a lot of money. Not only for a 14-year-old, but for a knife, at least back then in my little world, all right? So, but I needed it. It was the coolest thing ever. And it was very cool for about a day and a half, and then I was cutting something, don't remember exactly what it was, and the blade chipped. I mean, it took a chunk, probably 1/4 of an inch, right out of the blade. And I'm like, what the heck? And that was it. I don't even remember what I did with the knife. Probably sat in a drawer for a while and then eventually got traded or something. I really don't remember. Maybe it was thrown out. I do not know. But that was it for me, for ceramic knives. And occasionally people ask me, hey, you know, have you checked this out? Oh, look, they make a blade that's ceramic. You know, it seems like it's awesome, it's perfect. There's definitely pros and cons, but that goes to any knife of any kind. You know, the steel is good to use for a blade. A lot of blades are made out of steel. The question is, what kind of steel? You know, certain steels will have an advantage in one cutting task and a disadvantage on another. Everything's pros and cons. It's a big balance. So let's talk a little bit about ceramic blades in general. And I will have more in-depth reviews on more ceramic knives that I want to get in the future, because this is a kitchen knife, and I think ceramic blades definitely have a place in the kitchen. And they do have some pros of being a kitchen knife. As far as an EDC blade, because there are, you know, Boker's the biggest company that puts them out, but there are other companies out there. But for an EDC blade, you know, or a folding pocket knife, not my first choice. But anyway, that'll be for future videos. So what are some of the pros and cons? All right, the pro on ceramic knives, the blade is extremely hard. Okay, that's good because you have great edge retention. It stays sharper longer. By the way, let's see if I have any paper here. Happy to have my mail. All right, let's see that. Now, I did not use this knife since I got it. Okay, fondled it, looked at it, did not use it yet because I want to show you out of the box how sharp this is. All right, just an envelope. There we go, it's a little better. So I'm not going to say it's dull, it's sharp, but yeah, let's take one piece of this, one piece of envelope paper. So you could see that it's sharp, but it's not razor sharp, okay? This would not shave. just to see, make sure I'm not lying. You know what? It's popping a couple hairs, but I wouldn't say it's on par as far as being razor sharp. Okay, but it is sharp. It's not dull by any means. All right, now one of the pros to this knife, or ceramic blades in general, is that it will hold an edge for a very long time. Okay, now, I'm not talking about you, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about for the average person. Okay, the average person does not take care of their knives. Okay, now the average person doesn't have a knife collection, but what they do have is they have a set of kitchen cutlery. Or perhaps they just have a couple of random knives they got for Walmart for, you know, $3. But regardless, every single household, or I should say most, have some kind of kitchen cutlery that they use to prepper. I don't know why, as I was going to say prepare, I thought about preparation H, and I have no idea why, but that's how that came out like that. Most people use their knives to prepare their food for dinner. Now, some people aren't very fancy, but you still need to cut crap, okay? So most households have some kind of kitchen cutlery. They don't take care of their knives. They will take a knife, cut something, and then throw it in the sink. They may be 3 or 4 feet away. I've seen this at like friends' house. I've seen my own family do it. And then just take the knife, throw it in the sink. I'm like, wow, really? And then most people's kitchen cutlery is very dull, extremely dull. Not many people know how to sharpen knives. They don't know how to steel their knives. They certainly don't know how to strop them. So they'll use them and use them and use them. And then when they get dull, they'll still use them and they'll just struggle more to cut stuff. And eventually when they're just really frustrated, they'll throw them out and buy new ones. But because most people have cheap, you know, maybe $30 or $40 complete kitchen knife sets, they don't care. They figure that's just how that works. I have a set of knives for 5 years and then they're complete crap and I throw them out. No, that's not how it works. But that's just how most people go about their kitchen cutlery. So this has a huge pro for the average person in that it's going to stay sharper longer. Okay. Some other pros is that for kitchen cutlery, it is antibacterial, which means that unlike steel with the pores in the metal, food such as raw food isn't much of an issue anymore. You still want to wash your blades as you normally would, but it won't retain bacteria. Okay. So that's another plus if you're cutting raw meats and so forth. You may want to dedicate a ceramic knife just for that purpose, just to, you know, cut up chicken and fish and whatever else you want. But those are some pros on it. Some cons, and there are certainly plenty of cons. The first thing is, yes, this is an extremely hard material, ceramic, okay? Because it is a very hard material, you have a couple problems. First off, it's very brittle. As I even mentioned in the directions here, don't cut on ceramic plates, you know, hard materials, because you have a chance of chipping it or just literally snapping it. If you were to put pressure on a ceramic plate hard enough, the whole blade would just snap in half. And you'd probably have little bits of, you know, ceramic crap in your food. Not good, okay? B, try not to hit the blade as you're talking. Yeah, but you could see how sharp it is. I didn't get cut. B, for a downside is that it is hard to sharpen. Now they suggest sharpening it on a ceramic stone. Ceramic blade, ceramic stone. I've had better luck sharpening this with a carbide tip. Now I hate using carbide sharpeners. Now I hate them. I cringe because it takes off so much metal on a knife. It's like the worst thing in the world. It's nails on a chalkboard for me. You can actually see little filings of metal that it's scraping off. So God, please people, don't use those ever. You'll never need to use that unless you're completely a crude knife person and you really don't care about them at all and you just want somewhat of a sharp edge. You know, you don't want to be completely dull. You want to go from butter knife to just kind of sharp. That's fine. Don't do it by me. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. But anyway, a light pass through there is the only thing I can really get to sharpen this properly. All right, not this specific one, but I'm talking about the ones I've had in the past. I have had to sharpen a ceramic Sandoku knife for someone who had no idea what they were doing with it. And that was a trial and error, and that's what I found worked best, was very light passes through a carbide sharpener. All right, so the big thing is you gotta be really fragile with it. And they also mention, you know, don't cut meat with bones in it. You know, a hard bone can snap your blade or chip it out. So they're fragile. They're fragile knives. And some people may think, well, what do I want with a fragile knife? I don't want to have to worry about my knife breaking. Well, that's the reason I haven't really owned any. But for $5.38, I figured I'd take a chance on this one. All right, now this one specifically, I can say the handle, it's plastic. You can hear that, it's hollow plastic. But it's so weird. If you go to scratch it, it's smooth like plastic, right? But the overall feel of it is very rubbery. I really love this. I love how it feels. I love how it contours to my hand. What I don't like about it is the design right here. If I choke up on it, the corner of that blade digs right into my finger. It's extremely uncomfortable, sharp, and it will cut you, okay? So just how I normally would grip it, which is kind of high up on the handle, it's uncomfortable. I don't like that. So I have to consciously either hold it to the side like this, all right? Or I have to choke down on the grip, which I don't like because now I'm running out of handle. All right, so how this naturally fits in your hand, not good. It's cutting you right there. All right, so I don't like that. As far as the overall design of the knife, to me, it's just a steak knife. I mean, yeah, you can do some small vegetable prep and stuff. You can cut anything with it. It's just not the preferred style. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the weight on this is like nothing. I don't even know what this weighs. It's maybe 1.5 ounces. It's really nothing. But for this review, instead of just using this on food, because I know it will cut food. Okay, it will cut food and it'll hold an edge for a long time. The other one I had did hold a fantastic edge, which was great because I didn't know how to sharpen it back when I owned it. But I really want to do just a durability test on this. I want to drop this in my kitchen, which I'll show you in a second, sideways because I don't really want the blade to poke holes in my floor. That'd be stupid. And my kitchen floor is linoleum, and then I'm going to drop it on my wood floor. Now this is just from waist high, just to mimic you in the kitchen and perhaps being just a little bit clumsy and you drop your knife. All right, now with steel, worst thing that's going to happen is, of course, you're going to scratch your floor or perhaps dull your edge a little bit. I want to see if a normal drop just from countertop height would snap this blade. I want to see exactly how fragile this is, and I'll try a couple different surfaces. So if that doesn't work, I mean, I'm not trying to purposely break this, but I do want to get a point across to show that they are fragile. Then we'll go from there and we'll try some other things. But this review, instead of me just taking it and using it and say, yeah, it works fine, because yes, it's a knife, it will work fine, it will hold an edge for a pretty good amount of time. But I really want to focus more on durability with this, because that's my biggest issue with ceramic blades. If they weren't brittle and they weren't so fragile, I would certainly own more. So anyway, let's get on that and try those tests. So here's a knife, I'm in my kitchen. Linoleum floor. I'm going to try very hard not to poke a hole in my floor because I really don't want to do that. But I'm putting this on the counter, okay, and I'm just going to knock it off the counter as if I would have knocked it off the counter on accident. So let's move this down just a little bit. So knife's on the counter, I'm just doing whatever, I knock it off and alright. So, normal drop, it's fine. Nothing wrong with it, no chips or anything like that. Alright, I'm going to do it one more time. Just normal wear and tear. Oh, got my knife. I'm glad that didn't land the blade first. But anyway, totally fine, right? Alright, let's spin this around for a second. And here's my hardwood floor. Same deal, okay? Now, I wouldn't say every kitchen, because it's certainly not the case, but there's plenty of kitchens out there that have hardwood floors. All right, linoleum would be a little bit more common, but I'm going to try the hardwood floor. Now, if the hardwood floor doesn't break it, I'm going to try my bathroom, which has tile. Okay, so between linoleum and ceramic tiles, that's going to cover most kitchens. All right, oh, and the wood. I don't know what, I mean, I suppose you can have carpet in your kitchen, but that's very, very unlikely. So anyway. Okay, so this is just countertop high on wood. I'm gonna, by the way, I'm dropping this flat. All right, if I dropped it on an angle with the blade, it would certainly have a better chance of breaking. I'm not trying to break this. I'm trying to give a better scenario. All right, so just a normal drop. All right, that was a good drop because it was kind of handle first, then blade. So it definitely put some pressure on that blade. So I'll do a little wiggle test. And now everything's fine. Totally fine. So I'll just give this one more drop. Nice little bounce there on that one. And we're still good. All right, it's not going to bend. I don't know why I'm looking at it like that. It's not going to bend. It's either going to snap or it's not. So anyway, we're good. I'm going to move on to the bathroom and we'll try this on the ceramic tile. All right, so now I'm in my bathroom. This knife's getting a nice little tour of my house. And here it is, linoleum, totally fine. Wood floor, definitely a good smack on the floor, totally fine. Let's try this on tile. This is just regular ceramic tile. All right, I have my little vanity here, which is a little bit lower than the a countertop height. So let's just knock it off there, see what happens. All right. So, right off the bat, we lost our tip. And here's one little piece of it. I'm going to find the rest so I don't step on it next time I go to the bathroom. But here's one little piece flaked off. Yeah, even if steel landed on the tip, worst case scenario, it would dent the tip a little bit. But as you can see, it's completely broke the tip off. Alright, so. Alright guys, we're back in the kitchen. Just want to show you that tip again. Now I just want to show you that yes, these are fragile, and because it's broken, I'm not going to use it now because I don't want little chips of stuff in my food. But I'm just going to break it. That's pretty much what this comes down to. I'm going to break it the rest of the way, but I'm curious to see how much pressure it really takes to break. I'm going to put some lateral pressure on it, okay, just by pushing down like this with the tip against the countertop and just my hand on the handle. I want to see how much it actually take to snap this, all right, because I feel like the weakest point is going to be right here. I don't know, it's not full tang or anything. I don't know how much blade is actually in the handle here or how it tapers or anything like that. But it just seems to me that would be where it would break. So just going to turn my head away just in case it snaps up. I don't want anything shooting me in the eyes. But I'm going to put some pressure on it. Like I said, put the tip against the counter and push down and see how much pressure it really takes to break. Actually, you know what? A good idea might be to throw on an oven mitt. Just in case. I don't want any shards in my hand. Alright, so just see how much pressure it takes to break this. Alright, you ready? It's kind of exciting, huh? Not that we love breaking knives, but it's all in the name of science. Alright, so here we go. Pushing down. And it broke just where I thought it would. So, it didn't take that much pressure. Alright, and that's exactly what I really thought of it. Now, if you were to put this on the counter and just lean on a little bit, it might not break, but it really didn't take all that much pressure. It did start to flex a little bit. It's not that the material flexed, but the interior, the blade in the handle wiggled a little bit. But anyway, you see it snapped exactly where I thought it would snap, at its weakest point, where it's at its thinnest. Alright, so there you go. So anyway, I'm not saying it's a piece of crap. I'm saying it totally serves a purpose. I think they're fantastic for the kitchen, for specific use, as long as you're fragile with them. Alright, just like the instructions say, grab a wood cutting board, you know, or a polypropylene, some kind of plastic cutting board, and just be delicate with them. Don't drop them, especially on tile, obviously. Don't cut on ceramic surfaces. Okay, now most of us have ceramic plates. So even though this looked very much like a steak knife, don't use it as a steak knife, because there's a very, very good possibility that as you're cutting onto your ceramic plate, that little pieces will chip off the edge, and you definitely do not want to ingest, you know, swallow, chew on, whatever, little bits of ceramic. Okay, especially the sharp bits on your blade. That's certainly not a good idea. I think I got the blade out here. So yeah, all I could say about this specific one is that it's cheap. You know, if you have a month to wait, because that's how long the stupid site takes to ship stuff, less than $6, heck yeah, why not? If you got $6 in your PayPal account, go ahead, by all means, you know. Just don't be waiting for it, because it takes forever. But I still think this makes a fantastic little, you know, kind of a makeshift paring knife. You can do a little vegetable prep with this. It's not incredibly sharp, like I said. When you first get the thing, it's sharp, but it's not razor sharp. If you need to touch it up, I would you know, just use the light passes, like I said, on some carbide sharpener. Very, very light passes. Okay, barely touching the thing. But that's all. Just want to make a video on it. I hate to break knives, but I just want to prove my point that they're not incredibly durable, and that's the biggest draw to having ceramic blades. Now, that being said, I will be testing out a ceramic bladed folder in the future. That is definitely on my plans of stuff to do. I don't know exactly when. I got to get one. So that's pretty much it, guys. Anyway, thanks for watching. Always appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.